Good evening. Welcome to Star Talk. I'm Ken Eccles, and we're happy to have you with us on the program tonight. We love to hear from you either by phone or by email. The phone number is up there, which you can call. The email address, it's up there somewhere too. It's keneckleslive@gmail.com, and we'd love to have your phone calls or your emails during the show tonight. Got another email about that thing that claims that they're offering $185,000 to every U.S. homeowner. That came up one night last week, and apparently they're still advertising it because I have an email over here somewhere. I'll find it in a second. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
What's going on, Ken? How you doing, buddy?
Well, I'm just trying to stay warm because it looks like winter has started.
It is cold out there, ain't it?
It is, yeah, cold. Really, actually, a little bit colder than it ought to be the first week of December.
You getting ready for Saturday, ain't you?
What am I going to do Saturday?
I thought you going to Regional Parade.
Oh, the regional parade was last Sunday.
Oh, I thought it was December the 6th.
No, it was Sunday the 23rd was the regional parade.
Okay.
Unless they're having another one, and I don't think they are.
Yeah. Well, that Draper Parade Saturday.
Draper, yeah, I think Draper is Saturday.
Yeah,
and then Leaksville is on the 13th.
Okay.
But we did Reidsville.
Well, okay. I was going to tell you something. I forgot all about it. Oh, I got gas down the Amble today for $3.35. I mean $2.35.
Where did you get it?
Down on Westover. That Shell station.
Did you say $2.35?
Well,
that's the lowest I've heard of.
Well, a few days before that, I went down there. It was I got it for $2.30.
Really?
And then over Sam's Club, it was $2.24.9. So it was $2.25 really at Sam's Club.
Yeah, I've heard of that going on at Sam's Club, but the place where you got it for $2.35, that's just a regular station, right?
Yeah, Shell station right on Westover.
Okay.
Right there where you turn on to get on 58, then you take a left right there, that first left, you take to go to Piedmont Drive.
All right. Well, that's pretty good price. I've not seen anything close to that, so that's good to hear.
Yeah, I filled up. I filled up first time. I was down there again, and I filled up. It was $7 cost me to fill up. I filled up yesterday, and it was $7.
Well, I filled up Saturday, and it was $42.
What do you drive, Ken?
My truck, my Chevy S10.
Okay, you got your Chevy S10.
Yeah.
Hell, $40-some. That's what my Nissan holds, about $40-some.
Yeah. And that wasn't a whole tank. I mean, I had a couple of gallons in there, but what it took to fill it up was $42.
Well, okay, I'll get off the phone and let you go. I can't think what I was going to tell you.
Well,
but anyway, I'll talk to you later.
Well, I appreciate your call. Thanks.
Okay, bye.
Good night. 235 on Westover Drive in Danville. That's not bad. Not bad. I haven't seen anything anywhere resembling that neighborhood. That's the best I know of. Anyhow, with this $185,000 to every U.S. homeowner, the emailer says, let's see what the emailer says. Emailer says, Ken, I heard you talking about this with somebody last week, and I'm still seeing that ad on the internet. Now, I know within reason, says the emailer, that they're not giving $185,000 to everybody who owns a home in the United States of America. What I don't know is how can they get away with making a claim like, because everybody knows it's a lie. Uh, well, if you go and read the thing, which I don't know if you actually went and read it or not, and I read it last week, and I've kind of put it out of my head. There's only room in my head for so many things, and I've sort of put that one out. But if you read it, you find out they're not, as it turns out, they're not actually claiming that they're giving everybody $185,000. It's they want you to sign up for something similar, at least the one I saw, something similar to a refinancing of your house. And it says the average person, if they take this refinance deal, could get up to $185,000 in cash out of their house. But then, of course, you owe that money back. It is not $185,000 falling out of the sky. And the headline that you see is kind of misleading. In fact, you could argue that it's a whole lot misleading. But once they give you the details, they're not really claiming that they're going to give you $185,000. So that's how they get away with it, because the actual claim, the actual offer, is not exactly the impression you would get from the headline. Anyway, always be careful with stuff like that, of course, because it's not at all unusual for you to see a headline offer like that and then find out that the actual offer is not exactly the same as the impression you received from the headline offer. But the headline does look good. It looks really good. It's pleasant to look at. Phone line is open at the number up there. The email address is keneckleslive@gmail.com. And you can give us a call or send us an email. This one says, Ken, is Bill Belichick going to be fired from UNC after this disaster of a football season? Well, of course, this is not a sports talk show. I don't know if they can afford to fire Bill Belichick. I mean, I haven't seen his contract, but I imagine that there's something in that contract that says if he gets fired, he walks away with a whole lot of money. And it might be that they can't afford to fire him. I'm pretty sure they'd like to. I don't doubt that they'd like to, but I don't know if they can. It's like, remember the phrase "too big to fail"? Remember years ago in the Great Recession, when the government was bailing out all these companies left and right, banks and investment firms especially, by saying, well, they're too big to fail. If they fail, it'll cost us a lot more than it costs us to bail them out. And that might be the case with Bill Belichick. He might, in fact, be too big to fail. So I doubt you'll see him fired anytime soon. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Hey, Ken, it's Mark from Maridan.
Hey, Mark. How you doing?
I'm doing better. I was sick.
Well, I'm glad you're doing better.
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm doing okay, Mark. Thank you.
That's good. Yeah, I've been sick with a cold. I've been drinking Theraflu and taking Corseed and Mucinex.
Okay. Does that Theraflu help you?
Oh yeah.
Well, good.
Yeah, opens opens you up or whatever.
No, that's good.
Yeah. Remember, Madison Mandan Parade is December 13th, ain't it?
Madison Mandan, that's what I heard, December 13th.
Yeah. Maybe I can get down there if I ain't sick, and maybe I can find where Charles gonna be at.
Well, you get down there. Get down there early. You get down there a little, a little while before the parade starts, and you'll see all the Star News stuff setting up, and you can find him.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's Thanksgiving. Dallas won, didn't he? Dallas beat Eagles.
Yeah, Dallas did win on Thanksgiving. They beat the Chiefs, didn't they?
Oh yeah, that's right, Chiefs. Yeah.
I think it was 31-28, I think.
Yeah, and then Carolina basketball lost to somebody.
They lost to Michigan State.
Yeah.
So they're 6-1 now.
Yeah, I was hoping they'd win, but they didn't.
Well, you can't win them all.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thanks again.
Well, thank you, Mark. Good to hear from you. And Mark, I hope you will. At the parade, just get down there if you can. Get down there, half hour before the parade starts, and you'll see Charles. I guess you'll see him. He'll be running around in different directions and doing different sorts of things. And when you see him, just catch him there until you tell him you want to be on the air. He'll put you on the air. But you got to get there. Got to get there so you can get him before he gets really, really, really busy. Let's see. Emailer here says, Ken, I want to know everybody's favorite Christmas gift. Oh, are you going to give everybody a gift? That's good news. And especially, I want to know your favorite Christmas gift in case I want to give you something, which I'm not going to do. Well, I'm glad you dropped that in there, which I'm not going to do. But if I did give you a Christmas gift, what is your favorite Christmas gift? And anybody else who wants to say what their favorite Christmas gift is. You won't like you may not like my favorite Christmas gift. People don't like when they ask me my favorite Christmas gift and I tell them. Most people don't like it. They say, well, that's a bad choice. You shouldn't have that as your favorite Christmas gift. So I don't know if I should even mention it. I might get somebody mad at me over that. But heck, somebody's going to be mad at me over something. So I guess it might as well be my favorite Christmas gift, which is money. I like to get money. I think money is a very good Christmas gift. Now there are folks who say that money is not a good gift. People will tell you, money is a boring gift. It doesn't require any imagination. There's no real deep thinking involved in giving money. It shows that you haven't taken time to research the person and to determine what they like and what they don't like, and to determine what they might need at any particular time and what they don't need and what they already have. The wise gift giver, the really good gift giver, does all these things and then models the gift, designs the gift to meet the particular circumstances of the person who's receiving the gift. And that's fine. That sounds good, but you might not have time to do that. I don't have time to do that. So if you want to give me something, you can just give me money. Because it serves every purpose. You want to give somebody something they can use, right? Something they can use, and they might not be able to use that thing that you think is so cute, so you give it to them. But if you give them, you know that people can use money. It's versatile. It can be put to many, many different purposes. There's just no end to the different uses that somebody can make of money. So that's in its favor. Um, they don't really have to use it at all if they don't want to. They can save it and use it some other time. So I actually think money is a pretty good gift. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Oh, Ken, how are you this evening?
I'm doing well. How are you?
You know, I was sitting here worried, and I'm thinking, I said, Charles from Danville haven't called in. You don't reckon he's in the Philippines, do you?
I don't think so. I don't think he's scheduled to go to the Philippines for another year or so.
Oh, okay. I was just thinking. I said, well, you might be done going over there ahead of time. I don't.
Well, unless he changed his plans, I'm sure he's not in the Philippines yet. We'll hear from him at some point.
There you go. There you go. That's right. He probably called in a little late. I heard his mom from Mayday called in. Hey, Ken. Okay, so I was wondering, how you think this thing gonna go with Pete Hegseth right there? I mean, this second. I mean, it wasn't called for. You know, that second bomb on the boat when the people sitting in the water right there, you know, and they was helpless. You know, I mean, all they could do is they need to do is pick them up, but they just bombed them again. And Trump said he didn't know anything about that, so he didn't hear nothing about the second explosion on the boat.
Yeah, well, what I read that what Trump said, he said he didn't know anything about it, and he said he would not have given that order. He said,
Yeah.
I didn't actually, I didn't actually hear him criticize anybody for it, but
Right.
he did say that he wouldn't have done it. As far as what will happen with Hegseth, I doubt that anything will happen to him. Do you think something will happen
right.
to him?
No, I don't think anything would happen. If it do, he would do him just. I don't understand this other thing then, Ken. Why in the world do he wants to get this man out of jail over there? This man that's been in jail for I mean, he is going to pardon this man, this big drug dealer. I mean, cartel. And he said it's because of Biden set him up. He heard. That's what Trump said. He heard that Biden set the man up because he was the president of that country.
Honduras.
That's why they set him up.
Yeah, Honduras was the country. I don't know. I don't understand that.
Yeah.
You know, the investigation actually started during President Trump's first term.
Right.
Then his term was over, but before it got to the point of arresting and charging the guy, but they were investigating. The investigation began while Donald Trump was president. They had a trial. They had a long line of witnesses. They had documents. They had evidence. They had obviously enough proof to get a unanimous verdict from a jury. They had all that at the trial. And all we have now is the president said that somebody from Honduras, although he couldn't say who, said that it was all a Biden setup. So I haven't seen any evidence that it was a setup. There's a whole lot of evidence that he was guilty, but I've seen no evidence on the other side. So I don't know. I really can't tell you. I don't know why that was done.
Yeah. You know, Ken, it's a lot. It's so much going on, and it seemed like 5 or 6 different things in 1 week would go on in Washington D.C. I mean, it's just popping up from everywhere. I mean, different stuff. I mean, it's like he's trying to throw it off from the Epstein case. They're trying to throw them off from that, but it just don't make sense the way things is going. It's just I don't understand it. I really don't. I mean, it's so confusing, you know. I mean, why in the world? It seems like it's digging a hole. I mean, he ain't trying to. to make things better for himself. And here it is with the news reporters. He sat up there and he criticized the women when they talking to him. I just heard him talk to this news reporter today on the Air Force One, and said that she asked him about the PT scan that they did on him, and he said everything went fine, and he said his brain is working fine, something like this. But then he said something about her brain. His brain is better than hers, and then he turned and rolled his eyes and walked off from her. I mean, why in the world? I don't understand it. I don't. He ain't trying to make things better for himself. Don't seem like.
Well,
I don't know.
mean, I don't know what to say about that. Clearly, he and there are certain reporters with whom the president doesn't get along, and he doesn't like them, and I can tell you, he's not the first president to have reporters that he doesn't like. But I guess he probably displays it a little more publicly than other presidents have.
Than others, And now he's sending this. Is that a Russian guy that he's sending down there to talk to Putin now? Is he Russian? Had you seen that?
Oh, I'm not sure. Are you talking about Witkoff?
Yeah. He's supposed to be sending him to talk to Putin now about the Ukraine. But I don't see how that's. He done sent him down there once. I thought he had, but then nothing been done about it. But still, I say Putin is not going. This man is just not going to quit. He's not going to quit from Ukraine until he gets everything that he wants. That's as simple as that.
Well, the Russians, not necessarily what Putin says, but there are people who speak for Putin. There's Lavrov, and there are two or three who, when they speak, you can just assume that it is Putin speaking.
Okay.
And they've been pretty consistent in what they've said. And what they've said is Russia wants to keep all the territory that it's gained, and actually they want a little more than what they've gained. Russia does not want foreign troops in Ukraine. Russia does not want Russia wants a guarantee that Ukraine will not join NATO.
Exactly.
And they want a limit on the size of Ukraine's armed forces. So, I mean, that's what they tell us that they want, and they've said that consistently. So I can only conclude that that's what they want. And then unless they get that, based on what we hear them say, unless they get that, they're not going to stop.
They're not going to stop, Ken. I'm just saying I don't see it stopping, and it's going to keep going on because, and I don't understand why Trump won't help Ukraine like he should. But anyway, it is what it is, and then we'll find out later on in the future, I guess, what's going to happen with Ukraine. I'm thinking Ukraine if we don't help, then they going down. Just simple as that. That's just as simple as that. So I don't see us helping them within the next 3 years. I don't see it. I don't believe. But
I don't know how to predict that. So I won't predict it. I don't know.
Okay. All right, kid. Look, I appreciate you taking my call. We'll give somebody else a chance to call in, and you have a blessed evening.
Well, thanks for calling. Phone line is open. There's a number up there on your screen. You can also email us at keneckleslive@gmail.com. You can give us a call or send us an email. We'd love to hear from you either way. Ken, I agree with you about money. Somebody agrees with me about something. The emailer says, Ken, I agree with you about money. I think money is an excellent Christmas gift. I wish everybody would give me money. Don't dare use my name on the air. I'm going to use your name on the air unless you tell me to, because I would not want people to think I don't appreciate the gifts that they give me that are not money. But if it was up to me, I would get money for Christmas and money for my birthday and money for everything that I accomplish. Okay, emailer, thank you. There's 2 votes. 2 votes for money as the best Christmas gift. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
How you doing tonight, Ken?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. You have a good Thanksgiving?
Yes, I did. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Good. Heard today on the news that all the K&Ws are closing. You hear that?
I did not hear that. No, I didn't.
Yep. Sad thing about it is some people have been working there for 30 years or more, and they interviewed them tonight on Channel 2 at 6 o'clock and said they had no warning of anything that there was going to be any closing. And they got a phone call this morning and says, "Come get your stuff. We don't need you anymore."
How many K&Ws are there?
I do not know for sure. They interviewed some in Winston-Salem too, and they said one of the store managers, restaurant managers there, reassured the people, the employees, a couple of weeks ago that their restaurant wouldn't have any problems at all. But he came in tonight and interviewed and said that they told him the same thing. He lost his job, and he said he really hated it because he had just told the people a couple of weeks ago, "Don't worry about it. We got things under control." And had to go back this morning and tell everybody that, well, sorry to tell you this, but we're going down too.
Oh, well, they're just closing immediately?
Yeah, today was their last day. Well, actually, the other day was. In other words, they weren't open today. They were just closed for business from now on permanently.
Well, now, it makes me wonder, because people still eat in restaurants. I mean, people still go out to eat. I wonder why K&W can't make it.
Well, I don't know how often you ate the K&W in Greensboro, Ken, but I love the place myself. I mean, I didn't go that often. I mean, maybe several times a year, but it wasn't a weekly thing for me. But I noticed the one in Greensboro, it's been slowly but surely dying, and the crowds have been a lot less each time I went. And the food selection's not been as good as it used to be either. Now, you remember also, it used to be one in the Danville Mall.
Yeah, I remember.
Years ago.
Yeah.
But I really loved their food and the selections they had. I mean, I thought it was a prosperous place, but
well, it must have been a prosperous place to be in business for that long. It had to have been a prosperous place.
Yeah, they said it originally started in 1929, and I didn't realize that until tonight. But I mean, my Lord, that's almost 100 years.
Yeah, and it's not like it's not like it's a buggy whip company. It's not like it's a company doing stuff that people don't buy, and because
Right.
people still go out to eat. And I mean, when I go out to eat normally, and I do every now and then, I see a lot of people in restaurants eating. So I wonder why K&W couldn't make it. I don't know.
I don't know, Ken. I've ate at them in Burlington. It used to be Danville, Greensboro, and even Myrtle Beach. They have a couple down there. And I always enjoyed the food,
And to close just like that, just to tell people they told people they didn't need to bother to come to work. Is that what you said?
Yeah, well, some lady interviewed one lady there, and she got a phone call this morning, said, "Come clean out your locker. We won't be needing you anymore."
So they had no notice.
No, and some of them didn't even get the phone call. Some of them been there like 33 years, worked for the company 33 years, and didn't even get a phone call. Now that is really cold, man.
I wonder how many jobs that is.
I don't know, Ken, but I'm sure it was a bunch. I used to work for Freeway Builders, a construction company, back in the 80s, late 80s. And that's the way they did up there. I mean, we went there to go to work on Monday morning. There was a sign on the door that says permanently closed. No warning, no nothing.
Well, now I worked in radio for a long time, and that was actually that's kind of common in radio. You know, you show up for work in the morning and you find out you don't have a job anymore. I didn't know that legitimate businesses, not that radio is not a legitimate business, although it's not. I didn't know I didn't know that happened to people who had real jobs in real industries, and I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, well, I think what the law is on it in a roundabout way is if you employ a certain amount of people, permanent full-time people, that you have to give them, like, I think it's 90 days notice, but it's a certain amount of people you have to employ for that to be in effect. But
Yeah.
I mean, this time of the year, especially those people in Winston-Salem, when they were told two weeks ago, oh, you don't got nothing to worry about, go ahead and enjoy your Christmas, whatever. And then, bam, this morning I said, well, sorry about that, but forget it.
Well, now here's the bad thing. I mean, it's all a bad thing, but here's a bad thing is they had to have known for some time that they couldn't
Right.
continue. They didn't just discover today that they were
No.
not going to be able to continue in business. So you'd have a hard time convincing me that they could not have given these folks some notice before the last day.
Right. I agree, Ken. I mean, you know, the stockholders knew probably several months ago, but, you know, the worker bees, they're the last one to find out, and those are the ones that hurts the most, it seems like.
Well, yeah. I mean, those are people who always suffer the most. I don't think there's any question about that.
All right, Ken, thanks for taking the call, and enjoy your show.
Well, thanks for calling. And I had not heard that about K&W Cafeteria, and that's a regrettable thing to hear. Very sorry that has happened to those folks, especially this time. And there's not a good time of year for that to happen, but certainly this is one of the very worst times. In fact, here's an email. Ken, it's awful about K&W closing. We'll get back to this email in just a minute. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Hey, Mr. Eccles, how are you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
All right. Yeah, the K&W closing is pretty sad. That used to be a treat when we'd go out of town on the weekends back when I was a kid.
Oh yeah, I know a lot of
but-
people have a lot of memories of K&W.
But I think, I'll be honest with you, I think one of the things that hurt them the worst was the branding. They should have gotten rid of the cafeteria name a long time ago. Cafeteria to young people sounds like you're eating at school. Sounds
yeah.
like cheap food.
It does.
And,
Sound like you're going to lunch at school. Maybe, you know,
and
maybe
truly,
that was part of it.
Well, it truly is. They say that style of restaurant has been going downhill for years. And a lot of people like K&W because it's old school, and that's truly what it is. They never updated to what the popular restaurant style was of this generation. They were popular during their time because they were what that generation liked to eat, you know?
So,
or not what they like to eat, but the way they liked the service.
What they expected when they walked in the door as far as the service and the atmosphere. So if that's the case, it was we could say it was a lack of vision among management.
Yeah, I just think unwillingness or non-understanding of changes that needed to be made.
But can't you, if you're running a company like that, can't you see that coming? I mean, they didn't just run off a cliff. Obviously, it had to be coming for a while. So why didn't they see?
Oh, it has. They've been closing restaurants for the last several years, filing for bankruptcy protection. Who knows? I mean, you know, that's what you look at. Who owned it? You know, what were they? Obviously most people aren't in business to lose money, but sometimes when you have, you know, an individual or a group of people that have done something the way they've done it for however long, and they have no interest in the future, they don't care. You
And
know,
maybe they've
it's
made
like,
enough money they don't have to run restaurants anymore. Maybe it's that. Maybe they were just ready to quit.
yeah, that's exactly right. So the next part of this, I'll preface this with saying it's not a sports show.
No, it isn't. But
All right. Well, we just want to make sure that's clear.
right.
Okay. I am a fan of the UVA. That's
Okay.
the team that I follow, and UVA surprisingly this year, nobody had any expectation of it, has now made it to the ACC championship.
Mm-hmm.
They've been ranked nationally in the top 25, even in the top 15 for most of the year, at least half of the year now.
Right.
And what is crazy to me is that in the ACC, you've had two teams, Georgia Tech and Miami, that were ranked higher nationally than UVA, but Miami had two losses in the conference, and so they were on the outskirts of being able to qualify for the championship, even though they were ranked higher nationally. And Georgia Tech fell off the last couple of games, losing. And Pittsburgh had a chance, and they lost to California over the weekend. So now Duke, 5-loss Duke, but still has a better record within the conference, will now face UVA for the championship. If UVA wins, they are guaranteed to be in the 12-man college football team playoffs.
Yep.
And the interesting thing here is that it looks like they are likely to play one of two teams. It will either be Oregon or Ole Miss. And if you're familiar with what happened with Ole Miss this weekend, their coach got hired by LSU, and half of their coaching staff is leaving,
Mm-hmm.
and they will not play. They will not coach for the playoffs, so they're out. And they're also they're expecting a bunch of the players to sit out so that they can make it into the transfer portal on January the 1st.
Right.
And transfer to LSU. So it may be possible that UVA has to face a bunch of second stringers.
That's what I was about to say. And we don't know what roster they will bring to the game. I mean, we saw this with Florida State, right? Was it last year that Florida State gave up like 75 points in a bowl game because so many of the players didn't play? Or was that 2 years ago?
I think it was within the last couple of years. Yeah, I'm familiar with what you're talking
and
about.
we're going to keep seeing this because of the way the transfer portal is set up now, and the way coaches can jump ship at its time. I mean, it's an opportunity for another fiasco bowl, really, and we're going to see more and more fiasco bowls.
Well, in this situation, I think UVA probably against Ole Miss's second string is probably a 50-50 anyways. UVA it's amazing that they've made it this far. They're not that good of a team. They're a good team, especially when they're playing their best. But for an academic school like UVA, just making the playoffs is amazing. It's kind of like when Radford made the NCAA tournament and their first game was against Duke. It's like, it's amazing they made the tournament. Nobody had any expectations of them advancing, you know?
Well, if somebody at the beginning of the season had UVA and Duke as the two teams in the ACC championship game, then that was a pretty good prediction. I doubt anybody had that.
No, I think most people had UNC as at least being in the championship, and likely, like I think everybody thought that Belichick was going to be able to recruit a bunch of powerhouse kids, but
Yeah.
and I'll
he
I'll
may
be quick.
yet, but not this year.
I think he will. I think that he probably knew going into this thing that it was going to take him 4 or 5 years to build a program, because it's not like he went to LSU or to Alabama or somewhere. I mean, he went to one of the worst football conferences and one of the worst teams within that football conference.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the reality. And
He didn't
even
have,
as
he
good
didn't
as
have
he
a
is,
full recruiting cycle.
well, that's true. Now, the other thing is that he signed the number 1 quarterback in the nation for his draft class, which is 2 years away. So I think that kid will be a true freshman this coming year, even though I think he was like a red shirt freshman this year.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't play, or if he did, it was very minimal. But I think he'll be a freshman next year. I don't know if he'll start or not, but I think that's what they're looking at. I think he's looking at the reality as being in about 3 years, well, not, 2 years from now, it's like, okay, they will have a roster with some kids with some history of the coaching and the understanding, and they'll be competitive. But it's just interesting. Before this year, there was talk of the SEC trying to get UNC to, trying to get the UNC into the SEC, because they were just expecting, Bill Belichick, this is going to be powerhouse football.
Well, now that's a different story. And long term, those conferences want 2 conferences who want UNC long term, Bill Belichick or not. But who knows how that'll work out. I will say this, even though this is not a sports talk show, if the ACC does not upgrade its football significantly in the near future, the ACC doesn't have a future.
Well, I agree 100%. It's just kind of like this situation. It's like, because of the rules, we've got teams that can qualify each year, but none of them are expected to truly compete. You've still got, 3, 4, 5 teams that really have a real chance of winning that thing.
Yeah, the ACC has no chance of generating the kind of money for resources for coaches and program development that the SEC and the Big 12 and the Big 10 particularly can. And the ACC has got to upgrade quickly in order to compete financially. And if they don't, it'll become a minor league.
Well, you look at what happened with the Hokies. They designated over $200 and some million to be spent on their sports program. Then they hired James Franklin, who got fired from Penn State. And it's like, here's the way I look at it. Okay, you got you a big time coach, but we're also getting leftovers, because it's like, well, that guy is considered top tier, but he's not wanted by a school that is considered to be one of the top 4 powerhouses of all time. Like, this is a school that can compete every year for the championship. It is, and it's not quite Ohio State or Alabama, but it's considered up there in that echelon. And
well, as you mentioned, it's not a sports talk show, so we'll move on.
All right, let me ask you this, and I'll get off the phone so someone else can call, but I'm curious to hear your answer. If the situation was somewhat reversed, if you listen to Putin, I think when he did his interview with Tucker Carlson, he basically explained that, the reason they were doing the whole Ukraine thing and everything is because of their safety. And it's like, if you reversed it and said, okay, well, if we had given up Alaska to Ukraine at some point in the 80s or 90s or something like that, and then now they're wanting to build a military base on it or something like that. It's kind of the Cuba thing again. It's like, What would we do in that situation? So anyways, I'll get off the phone and listen to your answer.
All right. Well, thanks for calling. As far as Putin and Ukraine, um, I don't. Well, hang on. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Well, good evening, Mr. Ken. Sorry I'm late.
Oh, that's all right. People are late sometime.
I heard that someone thought I had left for the Philippines.
There was speculation about that. Yes.
Not yet.
Well, I knew it wasn't time for that yet.
Oh, we're going.
Oh, I know
We're
you're
gonna make
going, but I know it wasn't time yet.
Oh, no. Like it is. I'm going to retire next year at the end of July. Let's see here, July the 31st, 2026. Then I'm going to go back 3 days a week till the end of the year. Then I'm going to wait till I get my tax money. Then I'm going to disappear.
Disappear. Oh, yeah. Disappear. You're not going to disappear.
Well, I'm going to disappear to the Philippines.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's not. You're going to the Philippines. You're going to disappear, though. You're not going to evaporate.
No. I'm just going to pull a Houdini.
All right. Well, whatever. Yeah, that sounds like a reasonable plan.
Oh, yeah. Don't worry. I'll leave one of my clones behind to do all my dirty work.
Well, I guess you'll have to make your own decision on that. I just soon not have your clones around, but that's not up to me.
Well, don't worry. He'll probably call and talk to you. Be nice.
Well, we'll see if we'll be as nice as he is.
Well, if he becomes a problem, I will take care of the problem.
All right. Well, we'll worry about that when it comes.
Well, I just want to say tonight, everyone, it's going to get bad tonight. Please check on your loved ones, especially the elderly family members that you know who are probably living alone or probably with their spouse and stuff. Please, young people, call, check on them. If they need something very quickly, go get them something like a case of water or two, and please get them something maybe like some nabs or something. If you don't have to cook, where they can just pop out, make a quick something to eat. And if you have time, spend the night with your elderly relatives or family member, because it'll be a good time to, family bonding.
Well, absolutely. By all means, keep those folks in mind and check on them and make sure they're okay. I think that's a great suggestion.
Well, it's supposed to, they're calling for rain and sleet, but it's supposed to warm up in the evening. So it's probably, but, spend some time with your family, elderly family members. It ain't gonna hurt. They seen you through the younger years. And that's time to repay a good family love and respect.
Amen to that. Absolutely.
Well, have a good night, Mr. Ken. Bye-bye.
Well, thanks for calling. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Yes, Ken. How you doing?
Okay. How are you?
All right, Ken. Look, I'll be quick. One thing disturbed me today was that this guy, David Vicks, he frauded. I don't know if you heard about it on the news. He frauded 10,000 ordinary American people out of $1 billion. Okay? He was convicted here, sentenced to 7 years. And after only a few days, the president pardoned him and set him free.
Mm-hmm. He did.
Yeah. And see, how can you talk about law and order, when the worst of criminals you letting out of the jails and letting them go free? These won't know billionaires and stuff. He's just ordinary people that work for a living, and he got off easy with 7 years, and he only pulled a few days, and he was pardoned.
Yes, he was. And one of the elements in this one that has not been an element in some of the others is a statement from one of the prosecutors in the Justice Department, a current prosecutor, well, not a prosecutor, but an agent in the FBI who was hired by Kash Patel, the current
Right.
director of the FBI, not a leftover from the Biden administration, but somebody who's joined the FBI during the Trump administration. And I read a statement from him talking about talking about this guy and what he did and how he preyed on people and how there was no justification for what he had done and how he is a thief and a criminal and he belongs in prison. And that didn't come from the Biden administration. That came from the Trump administration. And
Yeah.
I guess it confuses me.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I'll make it short. Get off of here. Somebody else might want to call. Enjoy your show, Ken.
Thanks for calling. And I need to get this email read over here. So let's go back to that. Ken, it's awful about K&W closing, especially during the holidays. I would figure they would have a decent business during the holidays, but J&S Cafeteria closed back when COVID hit, and now K&W is gone. I wonder if Hardee's is going to be next, as I don't know of one Hardee's left open in Guilford County. Walnut Cove lost their Hardee's this past year as well. Gosh, I hadn't thought about Hardee's, but it does seem there are a lot fewer Hardee's than there used to be. Emailer goes on to say, has anyone heard of any good Brunswick stews in the next few weeks? With this colder weather, a good stew would be great. There are some stews coming up, and I don't have them in front of me right now. I will get them in front of me tomorrow night. I don't have time to look them up right now, but there are stews coming, and I will make sure that tomorrow night we mention and publicize those stews so everybody will know. And I haven't answered the question the other caller asked, what about Putin and NATO? Quickly, I don't think fear of NATO is Putin's big motivation, because if you look at the map, you will see NATO on Russia's border in a lot of places. It wouldn't be something new if Ukraine became NATO on Russia's border, because NATO's already on Russia's border. I think what Putin wants is take over the country. He wants the rare earth minerals, a lot of mineral wealth in Ukraine, a lot of valuable things in Ukraine, and Putin wants it. And that's the quick version of what I think Putin's motivation is. And that's all the time we have for Star Talk tonight. We're on the air Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. I hope you'll join us next time. Thanks for watching. I'm Ken Echols.